Hi guys, welcome back to Hairdryer Treatment. Buzzing because I think that is a big win and going a goal behind as well so early on. But Meg, I mean, you're smiling. How are you feeling after that?
I'm so happy, but I'm just at the start. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, we're gonna make it hard for ourselves. I could not believe it when we conceded, but top of the league. I'm so happy. We're back. We're back where we belong.
And to be fair, before we kick off, you'd say a lot of pressure was on our shoulders because not only City winning, but the manner in which they won as well. I think a lot of us were feeling a bit frustrated after seeing the offside decision, what wasn't given as offside and whatnot. So going into that game, like I think Rio called just before, he said the players could have been affected by that. It could have thrown them off. But that's what I mean. A big win. Does on the camera decides to just switch off randomly. I'm still here. Yeah, but a big win. But Pog boom. I can see very well. Flecker's put in the chat. Pog boom. Meg, that goal. How good was it?
It was going to be him, wasn't it? It was going to be him. Do you know what? When it went in, I was like, I cannot wait to get on here afterwards and just be like,
rub it in it.
Pogba. The way he picks it out of the air, just finesse. The way he just shifts it to the side away from the players, and then that strike with a weaker foot, and he just curls it. Like it curls so good. I'm one happy girl.
You know what? When he brought the ball down, he literally, like you say, picked up out the sky. You just said off air, didn't you? The way when he controlled that, I thought if he scores now, like what a goal this will be, and then he just went and did it. And I was just like, that's the Paul Pogba that we all want to see, though. We know he's got the capabilities of doing that, and he's in a good vein of form at the moment. You'd probably say that he's in form at the perfect time for us. What do you think about Bruno today, Meg? Because for me, I thought he had a few shots. Obviously, he was involved in the Cavani goal as well. He seemed to have a bit between his teeth tonight, and I know he gave the ball away a few times, but he looked dangerous, particularly in that first half, didn't he?
Yeah, he seemed to be on one for a little while. He was just buzzing around, like I said, involved in the Cavani goal. Could have been a goal himself, obviously coming back off the post. But I feel like perhaps he's not got rattled a little bit, but just I think there's been a lot of comments, and Ollie's obviously come out and spoke about that he doesn't get tired. He works dead hard, and he does. Like he's everywhere on that pitch at times. But he just had that little extra bit of tenacity tonight, just to go out there and prove a point. If you want to go out there and prove any more points, that's fine by me. You carry on, son.
Definitely. Hello to Andrew. Says hi, Soph and Megan. Had to work hard for that win tonight. Sloppy in the first 20 minutes, but we got better after that. Brilliant strike from Pogba for the winning goal. It was a goal worthy of winning any game, wasn't it? But towards the end, I mean, De Gea was called upon a few times. And you said it, I think, in the last stream that he showed his concentration. He didn't have much to do, but when he did, he was on it. And that was the case tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah. Unfortunately, in the first 10 minutes, I don't think the defence as a whole had too much to do until the very end, where obviously Fulham going to try and get something out of the game, just throw everything at Manchester United. We've got backs against the walls. But that first half, I don't think the defence as a five, if we're going to go back four, and the goalkeeper had very much to do in terms of defending. The only one time that they needed to defend, they all switched off, and Lookman's got through. And great finish by him, but awful defending by us to start with. But on the whole, like I said, David De Gea at the moment, it just feels like he's proven that he's there for the whole 90 minutes. When he's needed, he's called upon, he can pull out those saves, and it gives defenders and probably the whole team a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, definitely 100%. Always a red says Pogba's goal. A lot of people buzzing about Pogba's goal. Alex says Bruno was lively again. He did not lack energy tonight. He didn't look tired like he did against Liverpool. Yeah, he did look. It looked like he had the bit between his teeth, like you say. He had his first bit of stick really this week, and I think he wanted to bounce back from that. It's unfortunate not to get the goal when he hit the post as well. But he looked lively, definitely looked lively. And Fred in the middle, someone mentioned that he covers every single blade of grass. That at the end when I think it was Tete in the corner when they're having their own little game almost in the corner. And Fred just does not stop, does he?
He's got so much energy that, like, he's here, there, everywhere. We always say he does the dirty work, but he does the dirty work, and that allows for Pogba to be that little bit higher up the pitch, and that's where you want him. Can we just? I'm going to go back to the Pogba goal because it's just incredible. I can't wait to be seeing the replays because they're not going to be turned off anytime soon.
Yeah, and Naz says, hi ladies, we are top of the table indeed. We're back up there. Alex, thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate it. He said that goal from Pogba was worthy of winning any game. A world-class finish, and Pogba is now starting to perform how we want him to, performing consistently and influencing game top of the table. I agree. Completely agree. Pogba, I thought was quality throughout, but that, to be fair, I thought he started off a bit sloppy. Like, he was trying the right things, but the passes weren't coming off. But I like they didn't let his head drop. He just kept going and kept going. He wasn't hiding. He was getting on the ball, and you reap your rewards at the end of the day. And yeah, I think that Meg is a crucial win for us. After the manner in which City went up to top of the league, I think there was added pressure on us. Them scoring first as well. But again, we've showed resilience to fight back, haven't we?
We have, and I just feel like it's important if we just find a way to win. As long as we're not dropping points, we've had to come back from a goal down again. But let's just say it's defining our character, isn't it? We're not going to let it just be beaten in the first 10 minutes. If you concede within 10 minutes, your head can drop. Like I said, Pogba was a little bit sloppy to start with, but didn't let his head drop, carried on doing what he knows that he's good at. And that's what it gets you at the end of the day. If you continue to put in the hard work, you're going to get results. And sure enough, right now, I think United have put in so much hard work that we deserve to be up there.
Andrew said Luke Shaw's been world class last couple of weeks. What's your thoughts? Played well again tonight. Yeah, Luke Shaw I thought was quality again tonight. I really that little the cross came in at the end and he did that little clearance. Yeah, it was quality. Yeah, I think he's in that form at the minute, isn't he? He's flying, and Tele's coming in and pushing him. I think it's just taking him to the next level. He's thriving on that competition like I thought he would. We always say on here, Meg, competition is good for places. And in terms of Luke Shaw, I think we're starting to get the best out of him now, aren't we?
Yeah, I tweeted, and I'm not going to get it up because it's on Twitter somewhere, about Luke Shaw's first half stats. Incredible stats for 45 minutes. Is Meg in the bathroom? No.
Yeah, make that on the list.
If you're wondering what this is, I'm trying to DIY some paneling, right? If anyone's got any tips, because this is currently masking tape where I've tried to roughly guide myself as what it might look like. I've only done the top half. So there is some masking tape over there, but you can't see it. So yeah, I was renovating the room, so probably dead echoing. Apologies, but the kids are in bed, so I'm not been upstairs.
Yeah, Meg's not sat on the toilet streaming. Don't worry, guys.
It's a wooden chair.
Luke Shaw should start with Tellers. Definitely, right now, Luke Shaw has earned the right to start. Like his performances, you don't drop him right now. The way that he's playing, it just seems to get stronger and stronger. And I love his positivity going forward. I think Darren said it in the chat not long ago, that Luke Shaw and Martial going forwards, it broke down a few times, and it did. But I think when you're constantly rotating players, particularly that front three, when you're always having a different player in front of you, I think we kind of need that consistency to build a relationship. You saw that with Greenwood and Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side. It just looked unnatural. I don't know if you agree with that, Meg, but I just felt like it doesn't seem balanced when you got Greenwood and Wan-Bissaka on that right-hand side.
No, there's a few times Wan-Bissaka went to run past him and Greenwood went to pass the ball back, especially in the first half. It just kind of, they didn't link very well. But definitely on the other side with Luke Shaw going forward, I feel like, when he broke his leg and I thought, oh my God, that's it. Like that could have been career ending. And I feel like he's worked so hard. He has had so much slack in recent seasons for like the way he is, his stature and stuff like that. And now he's come right up to the front and just said, you know what? There's no way you're dropping me. You've got another left back in and a bit of competition, and he's really stepping it up. The connection on the right hand side with Wan-Bissaka, I didn't think he had the greatest of games. I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say Wan-Bissaka had a brilliant game. But that's just going to take time, and I think you've seen that with Shaw and Rashford, that they've built up these connections and like partnership on the left. And I think it's just going to take a little bit more time on the right hand side.
Definitely. George says best player since coming back from his injury, and as chairman of Pogba FC, I couldn't be more pleased. Fair play to you, George, and definitely Pogba is in the form of his life at the minute. Long may it continue, because I think it's the perfect time for us to have him stepping up to form. But that goal today, world class. But we know he's got it in his locker. We just want to see it more. And to be fair, last few weeks he's been giving it to us, and I know Meg is definitely in Pogba FC as well, and she's buzzing as well. And to be fair, I like Paul Pogba. People think I've got an agenda. I haven't. I'll just criticise what I see, and I'll criticise him, but at the same time praise where it's due. And like I said, tonight he was a standout player, a world-class goal, and a goal worthy of winning any game, like I say. And I'm pleased for him as well, and long may it continue, definitely. Shivan said ran outside when he scored that goal. I was screaming up and down, shouting.
I was outside during the game because it just started snowing where I am, and I'm loving it. So I was outside, but I wasn't celebrating. I was just like, oh, there is so much snow where I am. So I don't know if anyone else got snow, but it started to come down where I am.
I don't know if you're the same in your household, Meg. Obviously, you've got kids, I haven't, but I'm still like a big kid, really. But I'm watching the match and I'm constantly looking to see if it's sticking. And also look to see if the snow is sticking. You're going to get a snow day tomorrow from school, unlikely. But yeah, I have to keep sticking it.
I'm homeschooling, so we make our own rules. I'm like, nice. It's a snow day today, no homeschooling.
Love that. In terms of Wan-Bissaka, obviously, a lot of people in the chat have already mentioned him. I've mentioned him several times before. I was coming Inspector Gadget when he's defending because the way his legs seem to extend. But going forwards, I've often described it like he's running on stilts. He just looks so unnatural. He did have a dodgy first 15 minutes, to be fair. But I mean, do you think we kind of have to sacrifice the attacking element on that right-hand side from a fullback because he's so good at defending?
Do you know what? With him going forward, I feel like you can't have it both ways because at the moment, he's not putting in those balls that we were like, it's just not his game. I feel like he's looking for more simpler passes. So he's going forward, but he's not so direct as Shaw. So Shaw will go forward and cross the ball or take a player on, and he's getting to the 18-yard box quicker than Wan-Bissaka's getting down the right-hand side. So when Wan-Bissaka gets it, he's looking for the shorter passes rather than kind of go a little bit further and kind of hit the strikers or kind of cross the ball into the box. So I think defensively, obviously, we know that he's so good. He one-on-ones, he's incredible at it. And I think at the moment, he's building up that attacking play a little bit more. I'd like to see a little bit more directness, but that was at one point during the second half, I wanted to see it all over the pitch because, man, it was slow at one point. It was going from side to side, and I was like, where's that little defence splitting pass? Where's that pass that's going to split the two players in front of you, or we're going to break a line of their defence? Because they were putting men behind the ball. They're stubborn. They were getting players back, and I just felt like it was so slow that we need to make it quicker in terms of pace, and two, we need to be more direct. And I think Wan-Bissaka, especially on that right hand side, like I said, his passes are too short sometimes.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Diego, thanks for that. Yes, please keep it them likes, guys. I appreciate it. Someone made a good point as well, and I'll read it in a second. But firstly, Pushback Grover from India. Of course, I can give you a shout out. Thank you so much for that super chat. Thanks for your support and tuning in as well. I hope you're smiling after that result. And thanks again for your contribution. It does mean a lot. But yeah, I think Wan-Bissaka, I mentioned it, just not having a consistency, not always having the same player in front of you. You saw it with Memphis and Luke Shaw, just before Luke Shaw's injury. The relationship them two were building, like them two were flying. And I remember everyone getting so, like, everyone was buzzing watching how them two linked up, and the injury happened and obviously it broke down. I feel like we haven't got that balance almost, and it is probably a lot to do with the fact that we're playing strikers out wide and it's not their natural position. And that's a point that someone just made in the chat as well, that is it because he hasn't got a natural right winger in front of Wan-Bissaka? Do you think that hinders him a bit as well?
Yeah, I think when Greenwood gets the ball, obviously being left-footed, he wants to go inside. Mm-hmm. So it's almost taking the play away from that right wing. It's like with Rashford, he'll go, obviously he's right-footed, so he wants to go inside a little bit, but he's always looking for Shaw because he knows that he's going to be there. With Greenwood, we know that as soon as he gets the ball, he's shifting it onto that left foot, he's going into the centre, or in and around the box, he's obviously going to have a strike anyway. But like I said, I think it's just going to take time with them just to build up a relationship and a partnership on the pitch.
Yeah, I agree. And obviously Greenwood, like you say, naturally he wants to come inside, and then that's where you want Wan-Bissaka to be on the overlap. But naturally, that's not what Wan-Bissaka does. Like you say, his priority is always defending, and you say for a defender it should be that. But I'd just like us to have more of an edge on that right hand side. I feel a lot of time we're going across to switch the ball, but it comes straight back again. Like we don't have anybody who's going to beat a man, who's going to run around the outside and whip a ball in. I mean, nowhere good Cavani's in the box, and we're going to touch on Cavani in a minute. I just want us to have more balance on either flank, and I think the fact that we're playing players not natural wingers, I do think that, especially on the right hand side, I do think that holds us up a little bit. Alex, thank you so much for the super chat. It says, despite Pogba's great goal, I still think the man of match was Cavani, as he worked his socks off at number 9. A workhorse who never stops working like Tevez. He's got that ingrained into him, as he Meg. That work rate, he saw it towards the end of the game, tracking back, getting a vital foot in, stopping their counter attack. he just works for the team, and I love that about him. And someone compared him to Mason Greenwood, saying, "How can a 19-year-old Mason Greenwood not run as much as Cavani?" But that's what I mean. It's ingrained into Cavani. That's part of his. Second, I believe. But yeah, are you back, Meg? Are you back?
Is it me? I don't know. You started now. I was like, oh, am I still going on live here? Because I just sat here for a second like, is it me or is it you?
We're back. We're both back anyway, regardless. But yeah, I was saying Cavani, he just doesn't know when to give up, does he?
He doesn't, and I think he brings that to the team. You've got the likes of Bruno doing it now. Obviously, Cavani's come in. We always say about his his winning mentality as well. So it's nice to have a player like that. More than one player like that. He works so hard. He's a real threat. He's a real number 9, like a proper number 9. Like, he can hold the ball up. What a superb player to have in your squad, really. And if you're making someone like Mason Greenwood, who's young, with Diallo's come in, young player, and you've got the likes of Cavani, how amazing is that to have somebody next to you that's saying, "This is how you do it." Then you get training like day in, day out with him.
I'm laughing.
Lisa's making me laugh.
Apparently, you didn't leave this video. Sorry, guys. On my screen, I was there talking away and Megan stopped. So I apologise for that.
So that makes me more nervous because I just sat here like, me or you? Do I start speaking now? Because I don't know who's froze.
The gremlins on the internet again, as always. But yeah, I agree with Cavani as well. I think not only the fact that he scores goals, not only his work rate, but his experience as well. He's moving. He was looking not to score that header as well. To be fair, great save for Areola. But his movement as well, he's just so well experienced. And I saw a lot of people, Real Ferdinand said it as well, we should have signed him a lot earlier. Do you agree with that?
I feel like we've been crying out for a number 9. I'm not saying that perhaps we should have Cavani earlier. But a player like him, who knows if we'd have got Cavani earlier, what would happen? We say this about Bruno. When he came in, we wanted him in the August, not in the January window. I think, yes, we could have signed him earlier. What will be, will be. But I think right now we utilise him for all the time that we've got. And like I said, allowing him to almost develop younger players that are going to play his position in years to come. So good to have somebody like that in the United ranks. Definitely.
United Blog says, can we explain the offside rule? Before the City game today, I would have said yes. Now, I'll be honest, I ain't got a clue what the offside rule is.
I was just about to say to you, do you want to talk about the Man City game or the Juventus game, where the Juventus game got called offside and the Man City game didn't get called offside? So until UEFA and whoever else wants to come and tell me what the exact rule is, no.
You know what? For years, I've had people saying, you don't even know the offside rule because I'm a female. And then now I'm just like, nobody knows the offside rule. Yes. No, my opinion, I said I can understand why Mings tried to control it, because he's thinking Rodri cannot try and nick the ball back because he's offside. So he's thinking I can just control it. I'll make a pass and then Rodri will come back into play. And obviously, looking back, he probably would have thought I should have just got rid of it. But I can kind of understand why he did that, because he wouldn't be expecting Rodri to join in. He'd think the flag would just go up. So yeah, I was confused by the whole situation. But it's a great finish, regardless. But for me, it should have been an offside, and I feel for Villa there. They were really unlucky. They had a lot of chances. McGinn had one just before, didn't he, where they should have scored. And yeah, it's one of them. But we've got to focus on ourselves, take it one game at a time. Don't need to be panicking, looking over our shoulder. Just focus on us and get our results. And that's what we did today. And I'm grateful for that. In a minute, me and Meg will be obviously rating the players, 5 being an average, and obviously up to 10 as to how well you think they played. So get thinking about your numbers in the chat, guys, and help us out, because we're on the fence so many times about that. But yeah, Donny, I'm going to touch on Meg, because we both said surely he's got to play against Fulham. He didn't get on again. You'd have to say Ollie got it right, because we've ended up with a win. But were you a bit gutted not to see him starting?
I'm not going to say I was gutted, because I think the team that started won the game. So if you haven't got the likes, for me, I said that I didn't expect to see Bruno play, and Bruno created Cavani's goal. So if I can't be gutted because the team that went out went and won it. But what has the guy got to do to play a game? going to complain because we're top of the league, but if I was him, I'd be pissed.
You would, but at the same time, maybe Ollie's whispered in his ear. Obviously, a cup game at the weekend. Yes, it's Liverpool, but it's a cup game. And Van der Beek, you probably say, has got more chance of featuring in the cup games right now because we tend to rotate. Maybe he's had a whisper in his ear and said, look, you're not starting tonight. However, you will be starting the weekend against Liverpool. Maybe that's what's happened, but I guess we'll wait and see on that one. But it would make more sense for him to maybe start in a cup game, wouldn't it?
It would, but the cup game is against Liverpool. And I think right now, for Manchester United, whether it's a cup, well, we want to go through, obviously, and I think there will be changes, but we want to go and win that game regardless. Yes, it's a cup game. Yes, you want to go through, but it's also against Liverpool. And really, do we ever want to lose against Liverpool? No. So I think we need to play a strong team against them on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. Waiters, don't get too cocky. Far from cocky. Trust me, I am far from cocky. I know what this United team are capable of. It depends who turns up week in, week out. Take it one game at a time.
What I will say though, we've got the points. So we're sat there, and I'm not going to say we're getting cocky, but right now we're sat on top of the league, and we've already got the point. We've got 2 points ahead of them. Mm-hmm. We've already got them 2 points in hand. They've actually, whoever they've got to play, and we know this league this season, anybody could beat anybody. It's exciting, Everton, and that's not going to be an easy game, whatever the scoreline says. But yeah, I just feel like we've actually got the points already. Man City have still got to play, and anything can happen.
To be fair, there's no easy game in the Premier League. Like, no game is an easy game, especially with teams like Sheffield. I mean, we got Sheffield United next in the league, fighting to stay up. No game is an easy game, and that's why you can't write anyone off, and that's why you can't be cocky, because you never know what to expect week in, week out, and that's why we love football, but that's why we hate it at the same time, especially as United fans. But enjoy the moment, and that's what we keep saying to people, enjoy the moment, top of the league. It's been a long, long time since we've been anywhere near that, so you've got to enjoy the moment, of course you have. Jockey says Darren Fletcher is working wonders with Pogba again. I hope you're right in terms of Darren Fletcher, and I hope he does have a positive impact on especially Pogba, but many players, because I actually am pleased with the appointment of Fletcher, to be fair, and his experience. A lot of people are a bit undecided, but I actually think that is a good appointment. But Meg, we'll get on to the ratings. Obviously, first up is the goalie, David De Gea. And like I say, conceded one at the end. He was called upon a few times. Made a few decent saves, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Lookman took his goal really well. So I think you have to say it was a good strike against him. But so that goes against him a little bit. But, you know, he was there throughout the entire game, like we said, all the way up until the end. Solid in that last 10, 15 minutes when Fulham really pressed against us. I'd give him a 7.5.
Blue's gone with an 8. Got a 7.5 from Naz as well there. A 7. Yeah, 7.58. To be fair, I don't argue with either of them. We'll go a 7.5. Obviously, what Meg said, but an 8 I don't think is too harsh either. He made some very decent saves. When called upon, you can't really argue with that. I think he'd be higher if he didn't concede. I'm not saying De Gea was at any fault for that, but obviously you mark a keeper then if you let a goal in. Wan-Bissaka then. For me, it should be one of the lower numbers today, if I'm honest. Meg, what's your thoughts on it? Because I'm quite critical of Wan-Bissaka at times, so I'll let you go first on Wan-Bissaka.
I think today, kind of, you understand why there's a bit of criticism. Sloppy at times. Just didn't really stand out. Passes weren't, like I've already said, weren't direct.
We've got various here. We've got a 4.75 from Twisted. We've got a 3. We've got a 5, and then we've got an 8 from Diz, which I'm pretty sure is a sarcastic one. Yeah, varies. 5, 6.
I'd go with probably a 5. A pretty average game from him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 5.5 just to be a bit nice to him because we won. But yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Alan Grover says there's a change in the mindset. Ollie's getting ruthless. Definitely, you can feel that resilience. Thank you so much for the contribution. We do appreciate that. But yeah, there's a resilience about us. The fact we got a goal down. We went a goal down tonight. I didn't feel worried really that we were going to lose. If I'm honest, I still felt like we were going to come back into it because we've seen it in the past when we concede. sometimes it takes that to wake us up a little bit, which is frustrating, but it's true. Sometimes we need to concede a goal before we get the kick up the arse to actually get started, and I think that happened. 5.5 Wan-Bissaka, 5.5, but I do think he's probably one of the lower ones that we'll give today. Eric Boyer, then, how did you think he did today? Meg, you're a big Boyer fan. It wasn't one of his best games, though.
Well, it wasn't much to do in the first half, I don't really think. Again, except for the time that they scored, and every single player, Pogba let the man run. Mcguire was out of position. Bailly just stood there. So that was very frustrating to watch. That was very frustrating. But then after that, I think, we spoke at half time and said United really grew into that game. I think, and I said this when we played against Liverpool, that I feel like Bailly pushes us up the pitch, and I feel like our defence was a lot higher up the pitch today. We didn't really sit so deep and play out from so far back. I'm going to give him a 7.
Naz has agreed with you on the 7. Cooley said a 7 as well. Yeah, I think he had a decent game. It just wasn't one of his better games. He wasn't as dominant as say he normally is. But yeah, a 7. Hard to argue with that. It was an above average game. Mcguire then, Harry Mcguire, skipper. Again, these headers. I don't know what's going on with these, Meg, but he meets them, and it's like a reaction ball. It's like you said in the reaction ball. They bounce off in all directions, and not the direction he wants to go in. I mean, what's your thoughts on Mcguire tonight?
Like after the World Cup, I thought, Harry Mcguire and his headers. Just aim for him. He'll win the ball. He's either going to head it and create a goal. He's going to head it back across the goal for somebody else to get on. And he's heading it out of play at the moment. I don't get it. Just go straight out of play. Again, defensively, to be fair, the back four really soaked up the pressure at the very end, and I feel like that can be difficult to do when a team throws everything at you, and they were throwing everything at you. I'd probably give them another 7 alongside Bailly.
You know what? Yeah, I agree. I think the fact that we missed those chances was a bit frustrating, but I think on the whole, like you said, I think he defended well. So yeah, 7. We got the win. We've been extra generous when we get the win. We always had a little bit on
We're always generous when we win.
Keep smiling while you're on top, innit? That's what you do. But Luke Shaw, left back, another strong performance from him. Apart from that 1 minute where he got nutmegged twice, I don't know if you saw that. Literally twice within a minute, he was like, whoops. And I was like, oh my God, he's having a mare. But other than that, a solid game.
Yeah, completely agree with you. Like I said, his first half was phenomenal in terms of statistics. So I'm probably up there for man of the match again. Bar Pogba, who's actually scored the winning goal. So you kind of have to, that goes for Pogba, doesn't it? But he's up there in the running again. I'll give him an 8.
I agree. I was thinking an 8 in my head. This is a 9. Mr. Reliable, says Alex. Last few weeks, he's definitely been Mr. Reliable, hasn't he? He played really well. And like I say, apart from the nutmeg spell, which I don't know if you guys saw that in the chat as well, made me laugh. I thought, God, in his head, he must have been like cursing. But other than that, yeah, I thought he had a solid game. Fred then. Fred.
Did the hard
work. It doesn't stop.
It does not stop. He's got energy. I don't know what he eats for breakfast, but energy levels are up there. He's just somewhere. He's just a player that's everywhere across the pitch. Breaks up the play again. I'll give him a 7.
7
I don't
earlier.
have much else to say about him. I just think that he's just got so much energy. He's just buzzing around the pitch.
Yeah, it just ran his socks off. Even right into the end, like I said, that battle with Tete in the corner. Just didn't let it slip. I'm Blue, thank you so much for the contribution. He says maybe Mcguire can teach Mcguire a few tricks. You know what? I've witnessed Mcguire attack a few corners, to be fair. I'd vouch for that, definitely. He needs some coaching on those headers.
I'm gonna blush in a minute. Start.
Fred, a 7, 7.5, 6.5, 6. I thought he had a decent game. I think a 7.5 is fair, to be honest with you. He's eating batteries for breakfast, someone said. I heard he's eating Freddy's. That's what I'm going to say.
Whatever it is, he just stores the energy levels.
He does. I describe him, like, comparing to being a wasp. mean, when a wasp's chasing, you can't get rid of it. That's what Fred must feel like in the centre of the park. Doesn't let it slip. And I'd hate to play against him. But Paul Pogba, world-class goal to win the game. All-around good performance. Out of 10, Meg. What's your thoughts on him?
What I will say, because I have to look at the whole performance, and yes, he scored that amazing goal, but he did let Lookman run past him for the goal, and it's frustrating to watch. But it's only because I don't want everyone to go, oh, with Pogba FC with you, Meg, and all you want, you talk about Pogba and he's just amazing and blah blah. At times when he has a bad game, I'll stand up and say he let Lookman run through for the goal, and it's frustrating to see. But he picked that ball out of the air with ease, and the goal, and just a strike, weak foot as well. If it was Messi or someone, we'd be talking about it for ages. I love seeing how many high numbers there are for Pogba.
I think the lowest that I think I've seen is an 8. I haven't seen any.
I know there's a 6. Did put a 6.
Is there a 6? Oh yeah, 6. Yeah, 9.
I'm not going any lower than an 8.
Well, you've given Shaw an 8, so I guess if Pogba's man of your match, then you'd put him up as an 8.5. But where's Cavani going as well?
I'll give an 8.6.
Don't twist it in the 8.625.
No, at least an 8.5 for me for him.
Apologies, there was a 6 in the chat for Pogba. I must have just missed it. The last of the midfielders. A better game tonight from him. Still no goal though.
Still no goal, but set up one, hit the post, was here, there, everywhere, had a bit between his teeth, wanted to make a difference. Feel like teams are starting to kind of put somebody on him, and he's finding it more difficult. He's finding getting a little bit of space a little bit more difficult now because people are just on top of him all the time. But yeah, probably a 7.5.
7.5. Okay, a lot of people saying a 7. I think I'll agree on a 7, and I agree with that statement. I think he started off really well. He kind of drifted out the game, but I think a lot of that was because he had that spell where he had a few shots, didn't he, just on the edge of the area, he's picking up that space, and I think Fulham, like you say, put someone in there and tried to stop that from happening, because obviously sooner or later he was going to score, and he went on just to help Cavani score instead. But yeah, I think he started and then kind of drifted, like he wasn't as throughout, but he's still an effective player for us. And I would say a 7. You say 7.5, not far off, but that's what I would give Bruno today. You just can't leave him out because if something's going to happen, 9 times out of 10 it comes through him. He makes stuff happen all the time. Mason Greenwood obviously played out on that right hand side. I thought it was a fairly quiet game for him again tonight. To be fair, in the first half, you'd say for both of our wide players, Martial and Greenwood, it was a fairly quiet one.
I was just going to say to you about the wide players, and anybody else in the chat, do we feel like it's going a little bit, not stale, but the same old, and I feel like we say this a lot about the wide players at the moment, they're not as influential in the game right now. Do you think time to just switch it up a little bit, bring perhaps 2 central players in and just change it around the midfield a little bit? Might mean we can accommodate some more midfielders into the team, but perhaps just losing those 2 high wide players. We just feel like at the moment we're not using them properly because they're not really creating anything from them. So whether, I don't know, maybe at some point I feel like we do need to switch it up to 2 up top and just see how that goes. Just brings it something different. Because I feel like Greenwood and Martial tonight were again very quiet, and it's those 2 same positions. Whoever's playing out there, we spoke about Rashford in the last couple of games that have been quiet or have not had a great game out there.
I think the issue with Greenwood is, in particular, like he's not a winger, so it's like that same situation where we're forcing players to play out wide. He naturally wants to drift in, and when he does that, obviously that's when you get the ball. You look out wide, and there's no one out there because Greenwood's already drifted in. It's just not his game to stay wide, and he saw when he got the ball as well. Every time he gets the ball, he wanted to cut it on that left foot, and the defenders knew that, so they just crowded him out. They knew that he was a bit of a one-trick pony at times, and I'm not saying he is a one-trick pony, but when he's playing out on that right-hand side, all he wants to do is try and get in on that left-hand side. It's better for me centrally where he can go either way. We know how clinical he is in front of goal, But when he's out wide like that, especially a team like Fulham where they're really organised, they kept trying to force him almost out on the outside, and he was never going to knock and run past someone. I would like to see Mason do that a bit more, to be honest with you, but it just doesn't seem like he wants to knock and run and whip a ball in on his right foot. He was always trying to cut in on that left foot, and that's where I just feel like we haven't got that balance. And I agree, I think it was a quiet game for him tonight. Kind of feel for him because he's out of position. Like I say, I don't feel he's not a winger at the end of the day. Someone said a 6. George said a 6 as well. He had the hay, his friend said a 6. Alex said a 6. Anders said a 5. So we're going between a 5 and a 6 really for Greenwood today. It was a fairly quiet one, Meg. I mean, what number were you thinking?
I would probably have gone for a 5.56. I think he was better than Wan-Bissaka, and we gave him a 5. Well, a 5.5, did we?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Hello to Doug who's in the chat, and it started snowing. It was snowing here as well, very shortly. Well, before we came on air, it was snowing. I hope it still is, but we shall see in a bit. I can't check to see if it's sticking from here, Meg. I can't see anything.
Nah, I've got a window here, but I can't see out of it. I've got no idea. It's just pitch black.
Yeah, to be fair, I think like the same rating for both of them wouldn't be harsh. I feel like that right hand side, I agree with what George said there, to lack of chemistry. Like we just weren't balanced at all on that right hand side. But yeah, we've gone with a 6 for Mason. Left hand side then Martial. What are your thoughts on his performance, Meg, today? Because another player who's been getting criticised of late.
Again, just epitomises what I've just said about Greenwood. I just don't feel like the wide players are involved in the game as much as I want to see them involved in the game at the moment. I just feel like we need to switch it up, because players like Martial, players like Greenwood have got goals in them. Neither of them are kind of hitting the form that they were in last season, and I feel like if you bring them inside a little bit more, is that going to mix it up? Are we going to see something like a little spark from them? And then obviously we know that they can play on the wing. Can they just bring it inside as well? So going off the fact that obviously they're not hitting the form as last year, I'd probably say again another 6, 5.56. It's probably the same as Greenwood.
Yeah, I think you could probably argue that he was slightly more involved than what Greenwood was in the game. But I agree with what people are saying in the chat, that Luke Shaw and Martial just seemed on different pages today. It just didn't quite click going forwards, which is frustrating. But like we've already mentioned, they've got to build that relationship up. I mean, you're constantly rotating. It's hard to do that. But last but not least, in terms of starting players, Edison Cavani, the poacher, scored again. I mean, Meg, surely he's got to be the focal point for us. Surely he's got to be one of the first names on the team sheet, you would think.
Yeah, it just brings that number 9 quality, doesn't he? That out-and-out number 9 striker. I put on Twitter the predator, absolute predator in the box, knows where the net is, and just quick onto things as well. When the ball dropped, he was the first one there to get in contact with it to score. I like the fact that we've got like a central striker, central target player. What do we give Pogba? I give Pogba man of the match, but I would say Cavani is pretty much on the same level. It's just the fact that Pogba scored an absolute worldie. So
shall we go Cavani an 8.4, Pogba an 8.5? It just pips it, Paul Pogba, because of the world-class goal.
Yeah.
That's the only fair way I think I could do it. Nasser's jealous of my Cavani top. Thank you. I am a big fan of it, to be fair, especially when he's scoring goals, especially. But in terms of Cavani, number 7, I know he wears number 7, but I saw them saying at half time, like, we've been after a proper number 9 for a while now. Cavani does fulfil that role, doesn't he? He is a proper number 9.
Yeah, like I said, an absolute target player. And he knows how to find that space in the box when you are up there in the middle of the pitch. And obviously we play 2 wider, so he has to entertain the 2 centre halves. To get away from 2 of them and to be able to play in between them. So just off the shoulder of them, just knows how to find that little yard of space. And like I said, first one to the ball and he scores when the ball drops.
He's just a goal scorer, but we've already mentioned his work rate and everything else that comes with it as well. He's just such a good asset to have. I'm absolutely buzzing that he's part of our squad. When we signed him, a lot of people, including me, were questioning whether he'd have the legs, and I think he's proven a lot of people wrong. And I love that about him. Like he's just a warrior, isn't he? And he shows that on the pitch. And fair play to him. The subsequent players who came on, so obviously we had Rashford, and McTominay came on together. So we'll start with Rashford. Did you think he had much of an impact when he came on? I don't know about you, but at the end when he was driving forward, I just wanted him to run past everyone and go for goal. And obviously he's been a bit more mature about it. I can kind of understand it, but I just wanted him to score.
I'd love for him to have scored, but actually, like game management, just get out there, and it's just about ball retention, isn't it? I think Matt, who was Arsenal's up there with him, just kept hold of the ball.
Matic.
Yeah, I think it was Matic. Just kept hold of the ball, run the clock down a little bit. That last couple of minutes, like I said, we soaked up so much pressure from the last 10-15 minutes that just literally keep hold of it, and he did his job. If you're going to say that, that's what he's been brought on to.
For all our subs, to be fair, I think we could probably say a 6. It's hard to really judge them, isn't it, on what time they were given? And I think that's the one criticism you'd have of Ollie. I felt like we went a bit flat, like you say, we went really slow at one point. I felt like we should have made some subs a bit earlier to freshen it up a little bit. But other than that, I mean, yeah, I think it's hard.
I texted you and I was like, we need to be making a sub sometime soon. And then literally 30 seconds later, Pogba scored. I was like, okay. I didn't expect that bit to come, but yeah, I just felt like it was slow. But I do think the subs came on and did their job.
Yeah, so we say 6 for all subs then. Nick, I've got Rashford. We talk about Rashford. I've got Rashford on the back of this shirt. Yeah, Rashford on this one. I've got Cavani. I've got a Martial one as well. They're the 3 shirts I've got this season. Yeah, Matic, again, superb in that last minute. Yeah, exactly. He came and did his job, looked after the ball. That's what Ollie obviously put him on to do. I'd agree with that, which is why I think a 6 would be a fair assumption just for the time that they had on. But Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer, Meg, again, we've got the job done. A lot of people are questioning the whole Donny situation and whatnot, but you'd have to say he got it right again.
He did, like I said, he got it right. We're obviously crying out to see Van der Beek a little bit more, but he didn't put him in and he's got the win. So you have to say that he has got it right. He has chosen a team that's gone out there and got the goals. If you wanted to put Van der Beek in, you're probably either going to take Pogba or Bruno off. And actually, Bruno created Cavani's goal and Pogba scored a goal. So you have to say that, he's got it right in terms of who he's picked. I'd probably give him a 7.
I have actually United for life. I got it's framed though. It's in a safe. Hidden.
Next to the picture and taking a corner.
It's in my panic room in the safe, locked up safely and secured. But I have got a Jones shirt. No, I haven't really. But yeah, I think Ollie. A lot of people saying a 7, and a lot of people saying an 8. You have to say he got the job done. It was an important win. It's a tough test away from home. Chelsea obviously struggled against Fulham the other night as well. They're not easy. Parker's got them set up good. They're really organised.
No, put that comment up from Ian, please.
Oh, bless him. Framed and under the bed, someone said. Yeah.
Oh, Jones under your bed.
Just picturing that face, the meaning face. Looking at that every morning.
Just under the bed.
Yeah, what do you want to escalate? So normally talk about food, now we're talking about Phil Jones frame photo under my bed. I don't know how it gets to this, but yeah. Ollie, I'm going to say an 8. An important win. We move forwards. We go on, and like I say, he's managed to play players, rotate players still. Got Paul Pogba performing. Yeah, I'm just feeling positive all around, to be fair. But going into this Liverpool game, obviously, me and Meg will be live just before it. We've got Chelsea Grimes talking us live reaction to the team that comes out. So we're going to be live at 3 to discuss the teams. And then straight after the game, me and Meg will be there again to do the normal cool down. But Liverpool, Meg, how are you feeling going into that? Do you think that Donny will start?
Oh, I think he will. I think at some point there's going to be a little bit of rotation. I think we're still playing an extremely strong team, but I do think we'll see Van der Beek in it.
I think so too. But that, for me, doesn't weaken the team. He's just a different player. Do you know what I mean? I think he's good enough to start. De Gea, thank you so much for the super chat. Says Ollie's Solskjaer a 7 for a win, and he rested Rashford. Exactly, he's managed to rotate, rest players, keep players fit, and still get the win. It's a plus. The only thing that you'd say isn't a plus is the fact that we haven't got a clean sheet because we've kept them in the last few games. But other than that, it's a big win. We've backed off the league. and we go take positives on Sunday. But yeah, I'm feeling positive, Meg. What's your score prediction for the weekend?
I want to see some goals. Like, I know the 0-0 wasn't boring the other day, but I just want to see a few goals in there from us. Especially I think Matip's going to be back. That's the rumour. He'll be back for it. So I think it'll be Fabinho's quality in centre half for them. Not a 0-0, George. We don't want to be seeing 0-0. It's got to be decided, doesn't it? So let's go for. I'm going to go for 2-1 again. I think it'll be difficult.
I agree. Alex agrees with that as well. I think a 0-0 and then penalties isn't a bad shout as well, to be fair. But I'd like to think that we go after each other a bit because it being a cup game. I'd like to think it's going to be a bit more of an open game, and I guess it's just a matter of who's more clinical because Liverpool haven't been clinical last few games. We know for a fact that we're not always clinical. So I think that's what it's going to come down to, really. We need Cavani to be on point and finishing. And definitely, I think Liverpool will be there for the taking. But we need to go for the jug a little bit more. I think that's what we need to do with Liverpool, definitely. But it's been a great stream, as always. Meg, thank you so much for joining me yet again. Make sure you follow Meg's socials. It's just underneath her there on the screen. Go and give her a follow. As always, great content. A lot of tweeting about the men and also the women's team as well. So go and give her a follow. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Everyone who's contributed. I really do appreciate it. Hope to see you back here on Sunday. We're smiling. We're top of the league. You guys should be smiling as well. Hope you've enjoyed it, guys. If you are new, please hit the sub button. Drop a like on the video as well.
14.5, by the way. 14,500. So press that sub button. If you're new, that's where you need to be going. Press it.
Please, guys, please do. And obviously, have a lovely rest of your week. We'll be back on Sunday with more content for you. But until then, guys, keep smiling. Speak to you soon. Top of the league. We move.